Hey Jim, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Did you see Athana's message?
Which message was that?
She sent a few. She was asking for the deck and I see you sent it already.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then she asked for the link for panelists and also for the link for the public.
Yeah, but there's only one link for everybody, right?
Yeah, so I just sent her the invitation again,
Okay.
which is the public link, which is
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
And I didn't say anything about the panelists because when we talked, you kind of seemed like it might have been an issue.
yeah,
So I didn't want to touch that until you had a chance to talk to her.
yeah. No, that makes sense.
Okay, so
Um, I think she just forgot what we decided.
oh, you did talk to them then.
We talked to them a couple of days ago. Yes.
Yeah, but I think that you changed it midweek, so
Yeah,
you probably
we're as good as we're gonna get right now, Dorian.
yeah, I know that. I'm just saying you changed it after the fact that you talked to her.
No, she's aware that everybody is gonna be able to speak. She's aware of that.
All right.
Gabriella, how did it go today?
Pretty well, I think. There, I was doing some video for the first time for the department, so that was exciting, and I think it came out pretty well. I'm gonna have to piece it together. I was set up in a good spot, and then the Fox News guy stepped right in front of me.
Is that right? That's
So,
funny.
of course,
And it would be Fox, right?
it would be
Yeah,
Fox.
yeah.
So, what are you gonna do? They need their shot. That's
Yeah.
probably more important than my camera.
So I'm gonna have a blind spot when we get started because I'm gonna be controlling the slides. So I'm gonna have Alderman Mitz, kind of start us off after I kind of do the welcome. But I won't be able to see if there are any other aldermen, even though I'm going to ask. So either Alderman Talia Farrell or Alderman Burnett might be on the call. And if they are, I want to make sure they get an opportunity to speak. The commissioner may join us, but I'm reluctant to have him maybe start us out. I think we should just get going. And then he may want to close us out. But again, I need a signal that he's on the call.
Okay.
Okay.
I can chat you if I see
Okay.
him.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. I think we're gonna be okay.
I
So
forwarded the
far.
link to Pete too, so I think he'll join.
Okay. So let me just make sure again I can get on my screen and how you guys see it. Do you guys see the presentation?
Yep.
Okay, very good. And now it's not moving. All right, there it is. Okay. 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 And then I'm going to, I guess I'll control the slides from there. Now, in terms of the Q&A, and where are you going to have people? Is there going to be like, they can put their questions in the chat, I guess is what I'm suggesting, right?
Yeah, because this isn't a webinar anymore, there's no what do you call it? There's no way to do like a Q&A box, so they can just put them in the chat.
Okay. 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 Dorian, are we going to be recording this?
Yeah, it's automatically recording.
Automatically.
This is actually recording too, so I can stop that.
Okay. No, I don't think we need to.
Okay, I'll just leave it on.
Hmm. Okay. Anything else we
And
need to
then I
go?
made you and Gabriella co-hosts already.
What does that mean exactly now?
That means you have
We're able to control more
authority.
things. Yeah. So
Okay.
we can mute people or, remove them if need be.
Okay. And should I make an announcement? I'm still going to make an announcement that we're going to be recording. And should I make an announcement that everybody should put their microphones on mute?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to, do you want to say, we'll do a Q&A at the end? Or do you want to just...
Well, it's going to be at the end of each session.
Right. So maybe just mention that so that people know, that they're not just going to barge in during the middle of the presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Do you want a background? I could send you this one.
You know what? I can do that too. Let's see if I can find it. Where are the backgrounds at?
If you go under the video and the little arrow next to the video.
Mm-hmm. Choose a background. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you have...
just use the blur. Still didn't. Oh yeah, it did it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, better. How did you get that background, by the way?
I could send it to you if you want. Pete had it.
Yeah, send it to me. I might use it next time.
Okay.
What a gorgeous day today, too, by the way, huh?
Oh, yeah. It was nice to be outside for a little bit of the morning.
I bet. I'm happy you were able to join us.
Yes. I'm glad they moved things around so that it worked out.
All right. We still got some time here, right? So people will just be able to come in. It's not like before where we've got to let them in, right? Or is it?
I think I didn't put a waiting room.
You did or didn't?
I believe I didn't.
Okay.
Is that what you want?
No, I guess sometimes it's just good to let everybody in at once, right?
Sure, we could do that still.
Yeah, let's do that. And then right at noon, we'll let everybody in. And then I'll give it maybe a couple of minutes after that.
Okay, so I see that so we do have the option to allow participants to unmute themselves.
We do.
So we can take that away.
Yeah. Is that a good idea, Gabriella?
Well, for the speakers, it might get a little cumbersome.
Because so what do you suggest?
I don't know. I know this is like a very specific issue here. So I think we can leave it open for now, and we'll just say, the hosts will mute you if there's noise coming in the background or something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and the settings are set for everyone to be muted when they enter. So I think it'll be fine because the host will obviously be talking, or like the alderman will probably say hi.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tomorrow I'm actually going to be in Austin. I'm going to the Chicago and Lockwood, the pop courts. Isn't that over there?
Yeah.
I'm going.
Okay.
They're doing a community painting day
Yeah.
in that, so I'm going to go and get some video footage.
Oh, good, good. You're gonna be over there with Mary O'Connor.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't
she's
think
gonna be
she'll be there.
she's gonna be talking about that today, though.
Yep.
Okay.
10. You ready to be back in the office 4 days a week?
Yeah, I got mixed feelings, to be honest with you. It's good to see everyone. That's one thing. And I think it just, I'm more of an extrovert, Gabriella. So, sitting home, alone, just, gets old for me pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice when you're done that you're already home.
Yeah. No commute.
So how long have you been here so far, by the way?
Since February 16th was my first day.
So. Oh, wow. Okay.
Just a couple months.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, what a baptism by fire, huh?
It's been a lot, but
yeah,
that's good.
It is good. It's going to have its rewards later.
Yeah.
I'm actually my mind is here obviously, but I'm also jumping on a plane tonight, and I'm ready to kind of shut it down for a couple of days. So I feel like bouncing around the room a little bit. I got all this energy kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
That's
hey,
great.
Jim.
Yeah.
So did you see emails from Athena?
Yeah, she's got a copy of the deck.
Okay. She was like worried about like the link, and I told her it should be the same link.
It's the same link.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And Dorian sent it to her. It's the same thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear I heard my name, but I didn't hear the topic.
I'm not sure what that was, Dorian.
You said Dorian sent it.
Yeah, you sent Athena a copy of the yeah, she said thank you. She should be good now. Okay. Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah. Did Caitlin give you any more clarity today? That seemed like that was pretty eye-opening, what she described.
Yeah. No, I didn't ask. I've been busy trying to focus on other things. I'll see about just walking down there again today to fill out a request for the other parcels, just to have.
Yeah.
It might not come in until like later in the week. But.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
My husband and I are closing on our new house on Monday.
Oh, nice. So, very nice, Gabriella.
That's exciting. First time home owners.
Have you always been in the city, or is this something new?
I've been in the city pretty much since graduating college. And, but we'll be back on the south side now. So
okay.
I'll be on the Metro quite a bit.
Very good. You say you guys are closing Monday or moving in Monday?
Closing. We're not going to move till June 18th, just because our lease is up at the end of June for our apartment. So it was just easier to wait.
Okay. That happens to be my birthday, by the way.
Oh.
June 18th. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's also the next roundtable.
That's also the next roundtable. Yeah.
I won't be available for that one, but because we'll be moving. But
okay. That's good. Hopefully this will let us know how we zero in and focus. Okay.
Yep.
So I just wonder, since we went back and forth, is it possible that anybody might get confused and still try to hit a different link than the one we have set up now? Is that possible? Dorian?
I don't know. I think that's a question for Gabriella.
I mean, it's possible, but this is the one you put in the invitation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so if they go,
if they go to the calendar, it's going to be easy. You know, the ones that confuse me.
Sorry, I think to your point about it being on the calendar, so if it doesn't work with the one that was sent in the email, because that's how the panelists got contacted, then they'll just be able to go to the calendar and it'll work. So I think it'll direct them there anyways.
Okay. I know sometimes when it doesn't go to my calendar, I have to go hunt for it. You know, that's.
would it make sense to just email it to everybody now also? Are we able to do that?
That would be great. Can we do that, Dorian?
Yeah, send the reminder, see you soon.
Okay. Hey, Claudette.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I am well.
I'm just checking in to let you know I'm here. I will be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. All right.
Jim, do you want me to start letting some folks in?
Please. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Hey, Jim, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Is that Corey? Okay.
Sir, it is. Sir, it is.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Ms. Fields. How are you?
Good morning.
Wonderful. How's everybody?
Good. it's about time we had a very nice Friday, right? Otherwise, I mean, this is overdue.
Oh, I'm so excited about the weather this weekend. The whole weekend is supposed to be hot.
No kidding.
I'm excited. I'm just gonna blank off here for a while.
Okay.
So everybody gets on.
Boy, Claudette, I love that background. Wow.
Thank you. You hadn't seen this one before?
I don't remember seeing that.
Okay. I've had it up for a while. Who knows?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Thank you. How are you today?
I'm well. It's I was just sharing with Miss Fields. It's a great Friday. We got warm weather. We got great weather ahead of us this weekend.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean into that.
I'm hoping to get to it sooner rather than later.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Last meeting for today, so yay! So, I've been at it all morning, so I'm looking forward to a break off screen. Let's put it.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us. How about that?
But glad to be here. So
okay. Everyone, we're going to get started shortly. We want to give some more time for everybody to join. We're probably going to target sometime a couple of minutes after noon, maybe about 12:04, 12:05, somewhere around there. Mr. Coleman, how are you?
I got no complaints. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for asking.
Good.
We're going to give a few more minutes for more people to join. I see that the alderman has not had an opportunity to join us yet, and we certainly would like to have her on board.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who is that? I can't
Earl.
see.
This is Earl.
Earl, yes, Earl. I can hear you.
I'm just checking my audio. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Had some difficulty this morning. I wanted to make sure it's working, so we're good.
Got it. Javon, long time no see, my brother. How are you?
Hey, Jim, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good.
Good.
Good to see you. Good to see you again.
Great to see you. And I heard you got a chance to stop by the farm.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yes. I met your better half.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what a wonderful place over there. That's fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. I'll be sure to relay your comments.
Okay. We're looking forward to going back out there too.
Yeah, hopefully my schedule may allow for me to be out there next time you guys are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to give it just a few more minutes, let everybody join. And again, I want to try to give the alderman some time to join us as well. Okay. I thought I saw where Alderman Mitch was able to join us. Can anybody determine if the alderman has made it on the call?
I have not seen her enter yet.
Okay, very good. So guys, we're right at 12:04. I'm sure the alderman is going to get a chance to make it on the call. Just a couple of quick things. We will be recording this session, so just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. I'm going to also ask that everybody please turn off your microphones, particularly during the presentation. If we hear your microphone, you will be muted. We want to go ahead and respect the speakers today. If there are questions, and we're going to repeat this again later in the presentation, if there are questions, please place your questions in the chat, and we will go ahead and address them then. And with that, I am going to see, she still hasn't joined us yet, but for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and get started. So first, good afternoon, everyone, and happy warm Friday. My name is Jim Harbin. I'm a Deputy Commissioner here with the Department of Planning and Development, and would like to welcome all of the stakeholders and attendees to our May Chicago Avenue Corridor Roundtable. Many of our past Roundtable members are accustomed to seeing our coordinating planner, Ethan Lassiter, here at the helm. let me stop really quickly and assure everyone that Ethan is doing just fine, but regrettably, he is now no longer working with the city of Chicago. That talented young man has moved on to another remarkable opportunity with a private firm here in the city and will truly be missed by this department. Ethan's work helped set the foundation and bones for this platform, and the city of Chicago was committed to building on his effort and commitment to this great community. We wish Ethan well and know that our paths will intersect again very, very soon. Today, we have a very full agenda, but before we get started, I still want to check to see if the alderman has made it on the call and allow her to provide any opening remarks if she's made it. Alderman Mitts, have you made it on the call yet? Okay, we can always circle back to the alderman. I am going to go ahead and take over the screen and get us going.
Hey, Jimmy. Yeah. If you go to display settings.
Let me come out again, first of all. That should have been a lot easier. I'm going to share. And display settings, where am I?
Right at the top.
Yeah, what am I missing here?
You see where it says display settings?
For some reason, it's not showing up on my screen that way.
Okay.
Wow. What's so funny? We just went through this, guys.
It's all right.
You might be able to go back out of share, and then when you click on share your screen, you may see another option to show your video, your presentation.
Let's see here again. When I hit share. Yeah, for some reason, I don't understand that. We were just looking at this. Okay.
Yeah, this is if you just move your cursor, because I can see where it says display settings, right?
Really? For some reason,
yeah, it's right at the top.
I see new share, participants, security, stop video, but I don't see
because if you're sharing your screen, we can see your screen.
Yeah.
And right at the top taskbar, it says show taskbar, display settings, and slideshow.
Really? Okay.
Right along the top,
right there.
Yes, right there. That's it.
All right. Well, okay. Very good. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
I apologize. Okay. As I said earlier, we do have a very, very full agenda today. We are going to have a very, very quick overview in terms of kind of where we are today in terms of us doing the roundtables. We are also going to have a quick overview in terms of the Invest South and West initiative and how it is impacting where we are today. There will be a facilitator. We have the talented Claudette Baker, who's going to be assisting us, and she will walk us through the rules of engagement. And then we're going to get the community engagement strategy from the selected RFP winner, Austin United Alliance. We're going to have our corridor manager, Malcolm Crawford, provide an update in terms of all of the wonderful activity that is happening along the Austin corridor. And then we have Deputy Commissioner Mary O'Connor, who's going to give you a heads up in terms of an initiative that's going to kick off next month. And then we will also do some Q&A and next steps at the end. I might also add that after each session, there is going to be an opportunity to do Q&A after the first, after agenda items 2, 3, and 5. And so there will be opportunities for Q&A throughout, and there will also be an opportunity for Q&A at the end. But again, with the number of people on the call, we ask you to use the chat room in order to ask your questions. So very quickly, over a year ago, we actually launched an initiative called Invest South and West. And the intent of that initiative was to marshal resources from multiple city departments and organizations and corporate partners to activate 10 vibrant neighborhoods on the south and west sides of Chicago. Within that, we also selected 12 corridors within those neighborhoods in order to make them prioritize, where we literally had a laser microscopic focus in terms of how we launched those resources. And the intent was a reactivation of neighborhood cores as selected by stakeholders like yourself to help spur economic development within those corridors. We also wanted that effort to focus on pedestrian activity and retail services and public spaces and quality of life amenities, and making sure that the efforts that we were conducting literally focused and would have that multiple effect because of that focus. And as a result of that effort, we also targeted through an engagement process where we should launch one of our key components of Invest South and West, which is activating and unleashing RFPs for iconic opportunity sites within those communities. And within Austin, as many of you already know, the Laramie State Bank was a consensus winner in terms of what that iconic asset should be and how we should activate it. We went through an extensive process that started back in June, and which literally was the development and the release of the RFP. We marshaled and attracted responses to that RFP over the course of the next 3 months. And then there was actually an evaluation process in which a developer was selected, and that developer was Austin United. And now we are actually in a process now, over a year later, where we're going to begin the negotiation process in terms of fine-tuning that response to the RFP. Austin United provided a wonderful vision based on the activity of the roundtables and visioning sessions. And what we want to have today is for them to walk us through what that community engagement will look like. And with that, we're going to have assistance from the talented Claudette Baker, who's going to walk us through the rest of the agenda for today's roundtable and be able to foster your questions as we continue. So with that, Claudette, if you want to get us going, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Jim, and good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for being here. I think many of you have been on before during the video presentations. And this is a quick reminder of the agreements for our operating today. As has been stated, is that please mute yourself during the presentations, and when you're not speaking, if you'll state your name when you do speak so that we can locate you on screen. Please use the chat function. I don't see where the Q&A is enabled, but use the chat function to put your questions, and we will take those questions after each presenter. And if you're verbally responding, to raise your hand. Sometimes we see the hand raised, other times we see you waving, etc. But we will do that and respect the staff. So as we see your hands raised, we will acknowledge and let you know where you are in queue. Please note all questions and ideas are valid, and that that you would respond with respect. And so we want to thank you to the roundtable for your commitment to this process, as you have been doing over the past year or so. And so with that, I want to introduce Athena Williams, who's with Austin United. And Athena will take you through what the plan is for community engagement. Athena?
Thank you, Ms. Baker, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see everyone, glad to see everybody can make it. As I start this conversation, I just want to make sure that everybody is aware that Austin United Alliance, we're very open to working with everybody in the community. So as you know, Austin United Alliance is a joint venture with Oak Park Regional Housing Center and Heartland Housing. I'm Athena, as stated, the Executive Director of Oak Park Regional Housing Center. And also on the call with us today is Earl Chase, who's the Executive Director of Heartland Housing. Earl, would you like to give a quick shout out?
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you, Athena. Looking forward to presenting here and fielding any questions that folks on the call may have.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So as we move forward, Austin United Alliance is a partnership. Our key team members include Boyd Construction, which is a Black-owned, Black-operated general contracting company. And I believe Lee Fantroy, who is our direct project manager, is on the call. Lee, would you like to give a quick shout out?
Yes, I want to say hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Glad to be here and also part of this project.
And then we also working with Valerio Dual-Train, who was one of the architects that was selected through the city of Chicago. And then Leighton Design is our MWBE partner on the project. Next slide, please. That's who we are collectively, Austin United Alliance. Next slide. So the name of our community engagement is called Community Empowerment and Resiliency. We will be catalyzing, which is encompassing outreach and awareness, socializing, which is engagement activities, and localizing, which is community benefits. So we began this process beginning March 8th, and our outreach and awareness will be ongoing. What we've been doing, we've been meeting with multiple individuals. We've been having presentations with multiple organizations. Some of the organizations that we've presented for to date include 37th Ward Alderman Mitts Community Meeting, the Austin Residential Council, the Austin Chamber of Commerce, of course, AAA BNA, the Austin Community Family Center, and the 15th District Faith and Community Committee, which has invited us to come back to make a quarterly presentation to that group. In addition to presentations, we're planning to launch a lot of our work beginning June 1st, which will include a website to give people real-time, up-to-date information about the project, as well as a way to really reach the members in the project. We'll also be doing a lot of flyer distribution, and we'll be using the community newspapers to put in articles and different ads, mostly quarterly, sometimes monthly, but that'll be something we'll be doing as well. Next slide, please. As far as socialize, we'll be doing a lot of engagement activities throughout the community. As you know, this month, Alderman Mitts had the Mother's Day event that we were participating in. For the month of June, we'll be participating in multiple different Juneteenth events. We'll be a sponsor for the Chi-Town Soul Charlie event. We'll also be participating with the Cook County Commissioners Wealth Building event at Malcolm X College. In August, we'll be partnering with the Illinois Lions Blues Festival, and then we'll have other self-hosted events that we'll be doing as well. Because wealth building is a big part of this project, Austin United Alliance team has a great plan to provide virtual wealth building seminars to the community. And then as far as touchable in-person events, we'll be doing events on the vacant lots on Chicago Avenue, and that campaign is called Lots of Love, where we'll be providing entertainment, resources, and things of that nature. So, get in touch with me. We're looking for partners to work with us on that. As far as localized, the community benefits include, which are ongoing, we have a robust quality of life plan that includes addressing the community narrative, of course, the affordable housing piece, and of course, this is for Austin, by Austin, which is why we're looking forward to people to participate. That participation includes developing a youth volunteer corps, as well as developing Laramie State Bank ambassadors that can walk through this process with us. So we'll also be reaching out to people to participate in that form, especially as we develop our community-led board of directors. A big impact with this is the economic development impact that looks at the jobs that are opportunities that come through this project. So that's the biggest part of our community engagement piece. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Ms. Baker.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Are there questions? I don't see any in the chat. If you do have a question, if you will, we can try popcorn. And I'll pause for a second. Okay.
Is it possible for us to have her email posted to the chat?
Yes. So, Ms. Williams, would you put your email in the chat for those who have
I'm sorry, I didn't mention my name, Jordan Campbell from Allspace Chicago.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. There is a question from Liz. Can you say more about the wealth building and long-term job prospects?
So as far as the wealth building, the goal of the RFP is to make sure that wealth goes back into the community, which is going to be the sole purpose of the community-led board of directors. So what that means is we'll put out an application and RFP process for people to join that board of directors that's going to manage and operate the budget for the bank building. And then at the end of the year, that net sum, after everything is paid, we as that board of directors will develop a plan to invest either in the businesses on Chicago Avenue or to help the capacity of a nonprofit in the community. And so those are some of the things that that community-led board of directors will be doing. But there's also a savings for the people that are part of this project. So there's energy savings because part of this project is going to be solar, and there's going to be a vast amount of energy savings there.
Sex, I have to sex or have
excuse me. Moment. Okay, Miss Williams. I think it was just an accident.
Okay, and then in addition to that, there is a home ownership piece for the renters and that'll be living in the rental units. We'll be offering financial education as well as opportunities for home ownership. So that's just some of that.
Will the home ownership actually be on that site? So those properties would convert from rental to ownership?
No, those units are all rental.
Okay.
The question about job prospects?
The question about job prospects has to do with, I understand that in the creation and the development of the project, that creates jobs. It creates jobs in construction, it creates jobs across the development spectrum. But those jobs are not permanent jobs. Once the project is over, that you move on to the next one. How many jobs do you see?
So potentially, depending on the number of tenants and depending on all of the uses across the entire property, there can be anywhere from 20 to 30 permanent jobs once the project is complete.
Thank you.
Yeah, some of those jobs would involve, obviously there's going to be a bank building there. There will also be other businesses located in the bank because it has a second and a third floor. So depending on the nature of those, the nature of those businesses are to hire from the community. For example, the coffee shop that we are talking with also has a co-working space. So there's potential staffing opportunities there. Some of the additional space that we'll have on the third floor also, whether it's shared office space as well as the incubator space, we will need staff to obviously run that. So depending on who the operators are for those specific places, we will encourage hiring from the community as well.
So for the benefit of everyone present, just in case you did not know who the speakers were, the question was from Liz and responding was
Earl Chase from Heartland Housing.
Earl from Heartland Housing. Thank you. Sorry about that.
So thank you. I don't see hands raised or any additional questions in the chat. I'll call for it one more time and then we will move to AAA-BNA. There is a question here from Shavion Scott, if I've pronounced it right. Can you share more about the local hiring opportunities for tradesmen and women, as well as any other opportunities for local contractors and business owners to be suppliers and vendors throughout the construction schedule? What will the process to outreach and recruitment be?
Yes, so we have several events lined up for that. There's going to be a kickoff event where we're going to do an inquiry to find out where people's skill sets are and what people's interests are and actually what their availability is. So that's going to be a precursor so that we can help people who may not be an actual contractor. We can refer them to our partner workforce training agencies. So there's going to be several events for this. So there'll be a first kickoff event for that. and then there will be multiple other events. And then Lee, who's our project manager, he can speak to how BOA Construction actually creates their packages and design their packages to their bid packages to make sure that there's more opportunity for people to participate. So Lee, can you speak to that, please?
I can. Thanks a lot, Athena. How's everyone doing this afternoon? You know, as Athena already indicated that, you know, we have putting together a list of outreach events. And throughout that period of time, that's when we'll be able to identify local businesses within the community, as well as identify skill sets relative to construction and also what we identify as soft construction jobs as well. But in addition to that, we understand that the bid packages to make this more inclusive of opportunities to help build capacity among businesses. Our goal is to, as the architect starts to develop the various drawings and design, is that we're going to start looking at them and start identifying how do we start breaking these packages out, whether it's, you know, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing, or carpentry. As the design process continues to move forward, we will find ways to break them out and then bid those packages separately. And then when we do our outreach event, we will notify the various trades in the community as well as small businesses in terms of what we're doing. So that gives them an opportunity there. And then in addition to that, we will identify opportunities that smaller companies can partner with larger ones as well. So there's a two-pronged approach, if you will, to make sure that we create opportunities for wealth building relative to the construction process of this project. Athena?
And I can take the next question. This is Earl again. And just to kind of top off here with the job creation, the business incubator also, why we can't give you a specific number of how many jobs will be created is because those businesses will start new businesses. And the goal is for them to incubate in the space that we have set aside and then actually become a business, maybe perhaps up and down Chicago Avenue on some of the other corridor projects that Malcolm will probably get into. So those will create additional jobs as well, but they will have their genesis obviously at our business incubator. So, you know, we don't want to get into too much speculation, but that is the idea that, you know, businesses will be created that then employ people. And again, that space will be kind of cycled through. It's not going to be a long-term place for a business to occupy as far as the incubator goes, but to just give them a launch. And then once they establish their business in the community at another place, they will create additional jobs through that. Regarding the timeline for starting construction and completion, we're targeting an early, I'd say a first quarter or second quarter. I'll say a first quarter 2022 start. This is all obviously subject to us securing all of the tax credit financing and lining up our capital stack as necessary to be able to build the project. And so all that's in process right now. We have several deadlines in coordination with the city and their departments, and as far as as also working with our lenders and investors once we get to that point. So we're working through that right now, and a lot of things have not been clearly stated as far as the deadlines. That's why I can't give you a specific date. The completion of the project, I think we're estimating somewhere around a 14 to 18 month construction period. We have a bank building, but then we also have the residential component of the 76 units, and then the parking garage, as well as the common space in between the two buildings. So just depending on, again, how things lay out as far as the financing will dictate a lot of things as far as how we structure this. You know, we may be able to get started and deliver the bank sooner. It just kind of depends. And then also we have to factor in, you know, weather conditions, et cetera, for starting a new construction project. So those things haven't been finally determined yet, but they're in process and we're working on the schedule.
So thanks. There are a couple of questions. There are a few questions that are coming in that I'm not sure about that are germane to community engagement, but if you would answer them, Ms. Williams, from a community engagement standpoint. And so these two questions come from Liz as to, do you have businesses in mind that would use the incubator? And what is the intended space for entrepreneurs? Is it to rent space in the incubator, or is it an accelerator, or simply a space for them to work? And so just as a reminder that the focus of this meeting is around community engagement for Austin United Alliance on this project.
Yeah, and again, thank you, Ms. Baker. And again, a lot of this, we're still in the beginning stages as we build this out, which is why I opened this conversation saying that we're open to hear what people are thinking. We're working closely with our partner, AAA BNA, and the Austin Chamber of Commerce, who work with a lot of businesses in the community. So, of course, we will take heed and work with them as we build those spaces out.
Yeah, and I touched on some of that in my previous answer as far as the accelerator and the incubator. And but again, we don't have the final square footage plans, for example, from the design. We're just now getting in the building. We have to finalize all that. So we don't know exactly how many businesses we would have there. It's all kind of it's an estimate at this point. But you know, just based on the tenants that we're going to have in the building, there will be multiple spaces for the business incubator program, and it is intended, you know, to be an incubator and provide the resources and a space for these entrepreneurs to launch their business. As far as an accelerator, we'd have to, you know, that's a specific programming that we would have to invite into the program, and that's something that we could definitely facilitate. But that's something to be determined.
So as a follow to that is perhaps it would be helpful, Ms. Williams and Mr. Chase, is if members of the roundtable have suggestions around community engagement of who some of those businesses are or how you identify them, how should they make you aware of that?
So I'm going to put the email address in the chat, and people, and I believe everybody on this call have my direct email address, but I'll put our team email address on the chat, and they can reach out to us. And then we'll be setting up, like I said, June 1st, we'll be launching all of our events, all of our programming, June 1st there or about, and people can get in contact with us. We're partnering with AAA BNA, the Austin Chamber of Commerce. So through those partnerships, we have a vast partnership with 37th Ward Alderman Emma Mitz, where we'll be presenting with her. We'll be presenting with the 15th District quarterly. That's already in the queue. So, yeah.
Okay. Here's a question from Shavion Scott. Is there any room to modify the redevelopment plan based on the feedback from community engagement efforts? For example, the housing density. He's heard that there are some concerns related to that at this intersection. And combined with that, from Liz is how much does the community board have to say in addressing redeveloping the plan to address these concerns?
So as far as the density, that was one of the things that the city really wanted to see there was density, particularly since we do have an affordable housing shortage. And the way that our team is dealing with the density issue, we are in conversations with CDOT and all the other groups that monitor movement in the area, because that is a concern. And that has come up through a lot of our presentations about the density in that area, the density for Chicago Avenue, in addition to the fact that this is not the only development that's going to have housing. There's several other projects coming on Chicago Avenue that are going to have housing. And a big part of that is to create a more walkable community for the Chicago Avenue area. So some of those questions and conversations, I mean, we can set up another meeting. I'll put the email in the chat, and then, you know, Austin United Alliance, we can set up a meeting where we can take questions like that. But go ahead, Earl.
Yeah, and I just want to add, I'm not sure if there's any specific concerns you're expressing, because I don't see them, but, you know, keep in mind also that the RFP was designed with feedback from the community, and that the walkability and creating a sense of place with the plaza, even the design aspects. This also is a transit-oriented development. We have a bus stop right out front, the bank building on Chicago Avenue, and then also the density as far as the units, you know, they're on the Latrobe side, so the westernmost part of the site. And so that is the part that is kind of off the Chicago and Laramie intersection, which is two-way traffic on each street, so four-way intersection there. And we're conscious of that, you know, but so a lot of the community's input was already provided in the RFP. And as us being selected for that to do this project, I think our design kind of matched and aligned with a lot of the city's requirements for making this, a sense of place, creating that walkability that Athena just mentioned with the plaza, and then also with the traffic, just having the units towards the Latrobe Street side and also the entry for the parking. So a lot of these elements were encompassed in our design, but we're happy to, maybe go into some of that detail when we have that, right opportunity or that right venue for that type of discussion, as Athena mentioned, and modify or incorporate and see what else we can incorporate while still adhering to the city's RFP requirements.
And I just want to add, another purpose of the density is so that it catalyzes, people utilizing the businesses that we're looking forward to grow on Chicago Avenue. So, Liz, with your grocery store that's coming, and Better and Berries and all these new businesses, we want people that are on Chicago Avenue and within that 2-block radius to really be there to utilize all of these businesses and all of these services that are coming there.
Okay. So there are several other questions that are here that we do have to move on to the next presenter, but I would make note of them so Ms. Williams, you and your team can address them. Certainly there's a comment from Deborah that says housing density, the number of units on that one line and intersection is a big concern. Then there are questions related to, will there be room for more cultural programs and exhibits? That's from Bonnie McHugh. From Liz, again, it's around 676 units, means a lot of cars and only half of the occupiers are driving households. And from Vanessa Stokes is Oak Park Regional Housing Center or Heartland Alliance, choosing the residents that will be living in the building. And again, I'm going to ask that these are parked as this meeting focuses on community engagement. And these are more specific into the actual implementation of the project. And they will be addressed as stated at a later date. So with that, thank you, Austin United Alliance. Thank you, Roundtable members, for your thoughtful questions. They will be noted. So Ms. Williams and Mr. Chase, please make notes so that you can respond to the roundtable at a future date. Next, we will turn it over to AAA BNA, Mr. Crawford.
Yes, thank you. And thank you guys for having me. I won't be long. I would just like to point something out. In Lagos, Nigeria, which is 9 million Blacks, there is a Chinatown. And there is no place for African Americans or Africans in that country as an economic driver. So to have this place, Soul City, on Chicago Avenue, there is no place like that in the world where Blacks are beginning to control the economics in their community. And so it is commendable to everyone who is on this call to be a part of history, because as we think about this, we will be known later as the history makers that got engaged in a community and got together and developed a corridor as Soul City. So I just want to commend everybody on this call. And I would just like to tell you guys about a few things that has happened or continue to happen. And I'm so happy to have so many AAA BNA members on this call. But we did a Soul City Corridor documentary, which was done in partnership with Walmart. That's coming soon. I don't have that date. There's more to come with that. That's one of the pictures that is here. We were a part of, and we saw so many people out at the 37 wards Mother's Day extravaganza, where Chicago Avenue was shut down. And it was just a wonderful time with everybody up and down the street. I even saw people carrying refrigerators sliding down Chicago Avenue. It was a phenomenal time. And then the beer. The beer is a Black economic empowerment rally, but we all got together and so many people came out to support sweet cheesecakes. And so that was a terrific Those are just some of the things that have been happening in the corridor. Next slide. We're really excited about some of the projects that are coming. The CTA bus turnaround, if you guys have not seen, the buses are up and running now. We'll do more with that. And the mural and the artwork that's on the side, that's a $77,000 piece of artwork that's on the side of that bus turnaround. And it's not completed yet. So we haven't done anything yet, but it's not completed, but it's coming. That's another piece. They started it, but then they have to finish it. There is $17 million in streetscape coming to Chicago Avenue. The area that you see kind of, colored in, that is a phenomenal piece. I won't talk as much about the Chicago and Lockwood project because Commissioner O'Connor is on here, which will be talking about that project. Those are some of the things that are happening in the corridor. Next slide. Oh, and that's the CDOT streetscape design that I was telling you guys about, and they did the dedicated express lane. If you guys see it, there's a solid white line down Chicago Avenue now, but there are more development. As you see, CDOT has more to come, and that'll be later toward the end of this year. But that's another project that's coming. Now, this is what I'm excited about the whole thing, but this is just some of the NOF projects. We have Stone Community Development Corporation. You see the address, and that's how much money, the total cost of that project. Mr. Anthony's Cleaners on Chicago Avenue, and that's, I won't say exactly how much, but you'll see the money. Coleman's Barbecue. If you go out now in front of Coleman's, they have planters and flowers in front of Coleman's. They've also added concrete on the other side of the fence, which will be a sit down, so you can sit down at Coleman's now. Potluck Restaurant, that's going in 5811 West Chicago Avenue. Soul City Studios, Brother Marcel Jackson is going in. TNC Fitness, I mean, phenomenal group, husband and wife. I think they're getting married this weekend, but that's a project that's coming to Chicago Avenue. Elmay Creations Event Space, that is already up and running, but there's more to come from them. And that's a total of almost $2 million that has come to Chicago Avenue. And I'm just gonna run through these relatively quickly. At art installation, LNS Development, which is doing new construction on Chicago Avenue. Batters and Berry, the Bruce coming to Chicago Avenue. Dream Team Office Suites, personally financed, I might add. So this is what's happening on Chicago Avenue. I'll slide down the Bailey Span, Garden Mural, and Boombox. And I know Aaron is on here and D-Case is on here. I'll just do this and say we're getting there. So a Brown Soul Food Restaurant, personally financed. Did that one. Johnny Vegan Soul is coming to Chicago Avenue. Soul City Place, a large scale, 30 units of housing, 10 storefronts that are coming to Chicago Avenue. Chicago Business Center. Oh, that's where Sankofa is going to be transformed into this Chicago Business Center. There's a comedy club coming. You see the addresses. Seab's Corner Coffee Shop. 40 acres. 40 acres. I'll say it again. Fresh Market is coming. Drip G Art Gallery just opened up on Chicago Avenue. Commercial spaces. Two Sisters Catering. Chicago Eats is phenomenal. She had the windows open the other day. You can see in and out. And so these are some of the capital infusions that are going on Chicago Avenue in Soul City, where there'll finally be a place in this country where Black people can do business with Black people. And everybody else too, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. And you're getting some high fives and in the chat, Janae DeFell says super exciting. Christopher J. Parker says exciting, and several hand raises. Are there any questions for Mr. Crawford? So lots of compliments in the chat.
I don't have a question. This is Janae DeFell. Thank you. I just want to again say congratulations. Many of you all see me on the Zoom calls. Thank you for having me. I really just want to stress as I look at this list, Malcolm, and you and I have connected offline, is please, 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 if there is any need for pre-development support on those projects, that you are sending these guys to the Chicago Community Trust. I will put the information in the chat, but the Chicago Community Trust offers a pre-development grant up to $100,000. So I want to be clear, this is free money that can be supporting some of the renovations that's happening in this corridor. So again, I will put my information in the chat. I'll also put the link to the website, but very excited about what's happening in Austin. And if there's anything that Community-Chicago can do, please let me know. Thank you very much.
Okay. There is a question in the chat for you, Mr. Crawford, from Layla Batoy. What is the parking strategy? And then following this question, it will be a question from Liz.
I will defer that question to Jim Harbin.
Hey, thank you, Malcolm. So, you know, to answer your question, we have a lovely problem. We're going to have businesses on the corridor that are going to attract people. So we don't have a solid answer today, but we do have CDOT, Department of Transportation, coming on our call at the next roundtable and talking about the streetscape work that is going to happen along the corridor. And with embedded in that work and that design that you guys will be participating in, by the way, that is where we're going to address how we go ahead and accommodate the many people who are going to be coming to Soul City.
Thank you. Liz, you can ask your question now.
What is the overall marketing strategy for Soul City? All of these some of these businesses are already open. Some of them are coming. It's not it's not one large planned development. So what is the marketing strategy, especially for the earliest movers, to get people to the corridor, shopping on the corridor? And how are you helping these, how are these small businesses being helped and supported so that they can actually, if they open today, they'll be around a year from now when other businesses open?
So one of the biggest things that the marketing strategy is continuing to be formed. We're starting to develop a Soul City website. There was a Soul City site for developers, but now there is a Soul City website that is being put together. There has now, if you have been watching AAA BNA, there's starting to be a lot of movement around social media and the followers and how that's being added up. Most of the local newspapers and different people are starting to engage. One of the ways that we've really started working with the businesses is really connecting each other and knowing that's what AAA BNA, what we do. Wonderful relationship with the police department, wonderful relationship with a lot of the businesses and even some of the bankers that are on this call that are all members of the organization. And what we've been able to do, and most of our businesses are doing well because we have purpose to those of us who are in business to spend our money with those businesses. And so those are some of the ways that we have started to move Soul City along. And we've been getting comments from all over. And so it's taken legs and it's starting to grow and, consistently. And so we're just following the flow. I know they don't answer it in the most technical sense, Liz, but that's kind of what's happening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crawford. And to the roundtable, Janae has posted, Ms. DeVell has posted in the chat the link to the website, and she's also offering to answer any questions that you may have. She provides technical assistance. So thank you, AAA BNA. We will move on to talk about the pop-up plazas. Ms. O'Connor.
Good afternoon, and thank you everyone for inviting me today. Just to give you a bit of background, last summer, Commissioner Cox assembled a group of pro bono architects and designers known as ARC, which stands for All Reimagining Chicago. And the goal of ARC is making Chicago safe, healthy, and economically resilient for all. So as I mentioned, last year, ARC was formed in the summer of 2020 during the height of the pandemic and after the civil unrest. And the goal of this group was to help communities on the city's south and west side reopen during these challenging times. And in a matter of weeks last year, ARC deployed an outdoor dining solution in Chatham on the 75th Street corridor between Indiana and Calumet, known as the 75th Avenue Boardwalk. And by the end of this year, there will be 5 initiatives by ARC throughout the city. But Pop Courts, which is ARC's second project, was developed in concert with Mayor Lightfoot's Invest Southwest initiative and West Side Health Authority, SSA 72. We work very closely with Vanessa Stokes, and we've also been engaging Alderman Mitt's office. The goal of Austin, in Austin, was to create a sense of place and identity for a community which was limited to access to public open space. The team transformed a vacant lot at the corner of Chicago and Lockwood into a place for activity, gathering, and commerce. Who's ever controlling the slides, would you mind going to the next slide? So last October, the groundbreaking took place for Pop Courts, and it generated a lot of excitement. I know that Vanessa has been in conversations with a group called Territory, which is a group of students interested in urban design, public art, and community planning. And this is precisely the intent of Pop Courts. It's to try to place a safe place for gatherings and public discourse, as well as a place of identity along Chicago Avenue that can be programmed by residents, community groups, and evolve over time. So these are just some events. You'll see Commissioner Cox there, Morris Reed, and Alderman Mitts. Would you mind going to the next slide, please? So this project includes 3 zones, which we refer to as courts, and each serve as a variety of community functions, with the programming meant to be flexible, allowing activities to develop over time. So the one we have is a basketball court, which doubles as a community plaza. In the back, we have a gravel area, which will host food trucks, farmers market, and other seasonal vendors. And then the shaded lawn function will be used as a food court with casual seating. And then Artworks will bring the projects together, as you'll see the murals on the wall, which Vanessa engaged local artists. And you'll see some of the murals, including Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman. And then the site itself, as you see through the renderings, it will spill out into the sidewalks and onto the streets, the artwork will. So it'll have a pop art theme. And then this coming Saturday, tomorrow, volunteers will work with the artists during the community paint day to complete the effort. And then, June 11th will be our official unveiling, and that will, so it's Friday, June 11th at 11 a.m. And then this project would not have been possible without the generous support of our other local community partners, such as Austin Coming Together, AAA BNA, the Mayor's Office, LISC, SSA 72, United Way of Metro Chicago, and West Side Health Authority. So we hope everyone will be able to join us on June 11th. And I believe Vanessa is on the call too that can help address any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. O'Connor? I don't see any hands raised.
I raised my hand.
Oh, I see it now. Liz. Okay, Liz.
Hi again. Everyone knows I love a good pop-up. 2 things. One, DCASE is already sponsoring a farmer's market at Austin Town Hall, as they have been for the last, I think, 5 years or longer. So want to know if you guys have been in touch with them, if you're planning to move it to Pop Courts. Is there going to be another farmer's market? Most neighborhoods usually only have like one weekly farmer's market. So just want to kind of put that out there. And then secondly is, with the launch being June 11th, is there a calendar of activities, vendors, and activities and vendors that's going on in this space? Is that already planned out, at least for the first 3 months?
I will defer to Vanessa, but I can answer a couple questions. So I was using it as an example of ideas that can be used in the Pop Courts in the Gravel area, so like vendors, farmers market. So I know that Vanessa I'm not sure if there's a farmer's market scheduled right away, but I know she's in conversations, and I know she's been working over the last several months working on programming, but I don't know if there's a set schedule that she is ready to share with the community at this point, but I will defer to Vanessa.
Thanks, Mary. Hey, Liz. So I haven't been in conversation yet with DCASE about doing a farmer's market in the space. I know that there are other farmer's markets that are close by. So I didn't want to confuse people about what's happening. So if you want to have more conversation with me about that, I'm open to it. I'm just more, I just want to see more food business. So we're looking at like food trucks and other vendors, like partnering with Two Sisters, Sweets, things like that. And then having like craft vendors in the space, which we're more looking to do. As for programming, I am looking to have like 4 Fridays in July and August to have programming in Pop Courts. And then I'm also opening it up to community to use it. So I've been getting a lot of inquiries about Pop Courts. So far, I'll have more information by the opening. So we will have flyers available so people can see what programming we'll have during the summer.
I think that's it. And before I turn it over to Jim, just to make note for the roundtable of topics for discussion that the roundtable has expressed an interest in is around the function of the community board, what role, how will they play in their role with Austin United Alliance. Also some questions around the redevelopment of the plan and having some input into that. There are questions for AAA BNA regarding the marketing strategy, more info about that, and then the schedule of pop-ups as just mentioned. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Harbin to close out today's roundtable.
Well, thank you again, Claudette, for keeping us in line and keeping us on schedule. Your skills are masterful. So thank you again. Let me go to the next screen here. So our next roundtable is going to be June 18th. I won't tell any tales out of school, but that's somebody's birthday that you guys may know. 3 things we're going to cover. We will have an update. We're going to have a team come in and talk through the Chicago Avenue streetscapes and how this roundtable will be able to participate in the work that's going to be performed along Chicago Avenue. My team on the NOF, or the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, will come on board and be able to provide an update in terms of new finalists for the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, and also targeting a date in terms of us opening up another round later this summer. And then obviously we certainly want to keep you abreast in terms of everything that's going to be taking place regarding the project at Chicago Avenue and Laramie. But before we jump off, a couple of things. One, I know Lydia Ross from Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events had an update. We weren't sure we would be able to get to it, but Lydia, if you or someone on your team wants to provide that quick update, are you guys out there?
Hey Jim, this is Brian. Sorry, Lydia let me know that Antonia was not able to join the meeting due to a personal issue, and Lydia did have to leave, so she said she'll get in touch with us.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that update, Brian. Okay, so with that, I believe Alderman Mitts got an opportunity to join us. Alderman, are you on the call?
And Jim, there is one last question here about is the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund large always open? That's a question from Liz.
Yeah, and Liz, it used to be that it was always open, but the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund large grant program is going to start mirroring the small grant program and having a cadence of twice a year. So I anticipate them getting ready to announce their opening round sometime next month as well. So with that, guys, I want to thank not only our speakers today, but also our roundtable stakeholders and all the attendees. Claudia, as usual, thank you so much for guiding us through this process. And I want to wish everyone today a great weekend. We appear to have some great weather for this weekend in Chicago. So please enjoy and be safe. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you this time, same time, June 18th next month. So again, thank you and enjoy your weekend.
Bye, everybody. Nice meeting. Great meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.